If you have spent any time at all listening to health podcast, anything on Instagram or YouTube lately, then there's no doubt you've heard the word peptides more times than you can even count. They're being marketed for anything from fat loss to muscle growth, brain health, recovery, skin, and complete anti-aging uses. You name it, there seems to be a peptide for it. And look, they can be incredibly powerful tools. We use peptides every single day at Revive, and when they're used correctly in the right patient at the right time, they can be game changing. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Steve Jones, and I'm a medical doctor specializing in longevity medicine down in Texas. It's cold this weekend in Texas, but we don't have any ski resorts, so I'm in Colorado and filming on location this morning. At my program with Revive, I help my clients add life to their years. Today, what I want to talk to you about is something that most nobody is really explaining properly, and this includes a lot of doctors and nurse practitioners out there. So here it is. Peptides really work well if your hormones are not optimized first. And if that sentence just made you pause, then this video is probably for you. There is in the US a peptide hype problem. Right now, peptides are being treated like a shortcut. People think, just give me the peptide, stack this with that, tell me which one burns fat the fastest. And people are then getting confused and frustrated, and the results come back mediocre or maybe even non existent. My approach at Revive is really kind of based around the issue that we see this all the time. We see people who have already tried peptides, have spent maybe hundreds or even thousands of dollars on different protocols, and then they were told, hey, just give it time. It takes a little bit to work. But look, when we dig deeper, the real issue becomes obvious. The hormonal foundation was never really addressed. So what peptides actually do and don't do? Let's look at some basics. Peptides are signaling molecules. They don't force change. They signal the body to do something that it already has the capacity to do. And that's the key. Peptides enhance communication between cells. They improve efficiency. They amplify processes that are already working. But here's the catch. If the system is dysfunctional, the signal doesn't land. That makes sense? It's like sending a high-speed internet signal to a computer that hasn't been updated in a decade. The signal might be strong, but the hardware can't handle it. So remember that hormones are the operating system. And if your hormones are your operating system, things like testosterone, estrogen, thyroid hormone, cortisol, insulin, all these things that regulate our energy production, metabolism, muscle protein synthesis, fat storage, brain chemistry, sleep, recovery, if these are off even slightly, your body is kind of stuck in survival mode. And survival mode does not respond well to peptides. So here's that uncomfortable truth. Most clinicians are never really trained to think this way. Traditional medicine is going to treat hormones in isolation. They're going to see peptides just as advanced add-ons that you can do. And they're going to treat symptoms instead of systems. So patients are given peptides on top of dysfunction instead of after optimization. And then everyone seems to wonder why the results are underwhelming. At Revive, we take a different approach. Before we even talk about peptide stacks, we're going to talk to our clients. Are your hormones balanced? Is your thyroid optimized and not just normal? Is cortisol rhythmic and appropriate? Is your insulin signaling working? And are you sleeping and recovering like you should? Because if the answer to any of those questions is no, peptides are just going to create noise. Okay, let me try to make this practical. Fat loss peptides. If testosterone is low or estrogen is not regulated, then fat loss peptides won't override that biology. Your muscle and recovery peptides. If testosterone, thyroid, or growth hormone signaling are suppressed, muscle peptides don't deliver the results that you're going to expect. For cognitive and mood peptides, if estrogen, progesterone, or cortisol are off, peptides aimed at focus or mood will feel inconsistent at best. And then your longevity and cellular health peptides. If insulin resistance or chronic inflammation is present, these peptides are just swimming upstream. Look, this is the sentence I want you to remember. Peptides amplify what's already happening. If hormones are optimized, peptides feel powerful. The results are going to show up faster. Doses can often be lower, and outcomes are going to be more predictable. If hormones are ignored, results are muted, people get frustrated, protocols become messy, and then trust in the whole process just breaks down. So our approach to peptide stacks at Revive looks like this. When we build the protocols, they're never going to be random. They're layered on top of hormonal optimization, not instead of that optimization. That's when peptide stacks actually make sense because now your body is responsive, it's anabolic when it should be, it is metabolically flexible, and it's capable of repairing. At that point, peptides stop being hope and start being real precision tools. If you're watching this, you've probably tried peptides and maybe just got minimal results. You've been told that you just need to give it time. In my experience, it might only take 2 or 3 weeks to get the benefit. And maybe you're just wondering if all the peptide thing is being overhyped. There's a good chance the issue, though, wasn't the peptide, it was the foundation. And if you're thinking about peptides right now, this is your warning in the best way possible. Don't skip hormone optimization. Okay, let me wrap up with a final thought. Remember that peptides aren't magic, they're not shortcuts, and they're not replacements for foundational physiology. When your lifestyle and hormones are both optimized first, that's when peptides become one of the most powerful tools that we have in longevity and performance medicine. That's how we use them at Revive, and that's why our patients seem to really feel the difference. And that's why this order matters most than most people realize. Hey, if this was helpful, please take just a second to hit the subscribe and like button, and maybe consider sharing this with somebody who's considering peptides or maybe has already been frustrated by them. And as always, if you want to explore whether peptides or hormonal optimization are right for you, please do that with a qualified medical team who understands the full system and is not just chasing a trend.